Today on Ballistic Barbecue, my wife and I are going to bring you out on a little overland adventure, Anza-Borrego Desert, Hot Canyon, where we are going to cook up a beautiful rack of beef short ribs on the new ASmoke Essentials pellet cooker. And this pellet grill is battery powered. This is actually a game changer. You're going to see why in just a bit. So not too long ago, ASmoke reached out to me and offered to sponsor a video featuring their new Essentials pellet smoker. And especially seeing that this thing is powered by a battery, I jumped at the chance because I like to do a lot of, off-road adventures, camping out in the desert or the Sierras. And I wanted to run this thing through the test here. So my wife and I yesterday came out here. This is called Hot Canyon. It's in the Anza-Borrego Desert in the San Felipe Wash area. And my plan was to shoot the video that day, but it was crazy windy. It was all we could do to frantically set up our camp the way we did. And I decided to shoot it today instead. Luckily, we did get a little reprieve from the wind earlier that evening, but then at night it was blowing hard again. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we're going to get some nice weather for this video. We'll see. Mother Nature can be angry. Anyway, let me show you the features of this grill. It is really cool. So as far as looks are concerned, this is a looker. I mean, it's got a really cool, nice styled handle here. It's got a nice matte black finish, and let's pop the hood. The first thing that jumps out is all this cooking real estate. These grates are huge for such a small pellet grill. This main grill is 19.6 inches long, 14.17 inches deep. And then it has this expansion grill as well to give you a little bit more cooking space. And altogether, this adds up to 271 square inches of cooking surface. Again, a game changer here. Now I'll pop the hood again. And if you're familiar with any of the other portable pellet cookers, and even the first ASmoke pellet cooker, you'll notice something is different from the inside here. Usually you're going to see the hopper right here. It's going to occupy about a third of the space inside this pellet grill. Well, this is where ASmoke kind of reached for that golden ring, that brass ring, and grabbed it. And it's right here. This is the hopper for the pellets. This is a 5-pound hopper, and I think this is ingenious. So it folds up on itself. I guess it telescopes in on itself. So you can keep it inside the pellet grill for travel like this. Then when you're ready to cook, give it a pull, and you'll see those silver buttons. You'll see those silver buttons through those holes there. So that's what retains the bottom section of the hopper. All right, now we're going to install the hopper. Easy stuff. While I'm at it, I'm going to show you this. This is a plate that you can put in place here if you're going to be transporting this thing, and maybe there's still some pellets in the auger area. And this will just keep the pellets from pouring out. And also, it has these latches on both sides to keep the lid shut. And the overall weight of this is 48.5 pounds. So it's not too heavy. It's actually pretty easy to lift. All right, let's get that hopper installed. So like I already explained, this plate there that prevents it from spilling if there's pellets in the auger. So we just remove this. You'll see on the back of the auger, we have the notched holes here. And right here on the side of the cooker, we have a couple screws that are extended out a little bit. We're going to line up this piece right here, this little catch, with this groove on the side of the cooker here. Put those screws through the holes and just set her down. Now we're ready to fill this up with pellets. I think I mentioned it's 5-pound hopper, but before we do that, I want to just show you what lies beneath the grill grate here. So as you can see, with the hopper installed, it doesn't impede at all with all this cooking space. Let's go ahead and remove this grill grate. So here is our heat diffuser, which is also obviously a drip pan. Slide this little piece here out of the way, and now we have a sear zone. So this is going to expose your steak or whatever to the direct flame coming from that fire pot. Let's pull this out of the way. And here's that fire pot. As you can see, it's pretty large for such a small grill. And the temperature range for this little cooker is going to be 180 to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, which is pretty good. All right, let's get this back in place here. Install the grill. Now let's load up the hopper so we can actually cook some food. So for this cook, I'm going to be using ASmoke's apple pellets. Now, normally for beef, I would not be using apple. I'd be using something like, hickory, but this will be fine. I've cooked beef on apple plenty of times, and it's actually kind of adds a nice, very light sweetness to the meat. So we've covered the basics of this pellet grill. Now we're going to get into what makes this special. Starting off with the battery. This battery charges in less than 2 hours, and they're saying that it gives us up to 10 hours of cooking time. We're going to put that to the test with these beef ribs. It's not going to be a 10-hour cook, but it's going to still be a pretty long cook. Here is the battery port where we will be inserting the battery. And while we're on this side, I want to show you this. This is your oil drip tray. It's a pretty small little tray, so I'm guessing on a larger cook, you'll probably have to make more than, one changes of the little tray here. We'll see, it'll be interesting to see if these beef ribs, if they fill the little tray here. All right, so we will insert the battery. So you can see the screen is now activated. Press anywhere to access the menu. And there we have a nice little menu so you can select from your proteins how you want to cook. Now, before we get into actually getting this thing ignited, I want to show you this. This is our ash clean out, and they have a nice little stainless steel tray here to put liquid in so you can, add a little bit of steam to the cook. You can add beer, wine, water, whatever you want. And I'm going to add some water. All right, now you can see we have 2 temperature probe jacks here, and they actually provided us with 2 temperature probes. We're not going to be using those on this cook. So I'm going to hit prime, just to prime that fire pot a little bit with the pellets. Now we are going to smoke. Let's select my temperature to 250 degrees. And we're going to swipe this right here to start. So I can hear those pellets going into the fire pot now. One thing I want to mention is this cooker does connect with Wi-Fi, and ASmoke has a really nice app that you can run your entire cook through. I'm in the middle of nowhere here. I don't even have cell coverage, so that's why I'm running everything through the touchscreen. But the touchscreen is very self-explanatory and easy to use. And again, I just wanted to go for 250. I'm not doing anything real fancy. It's just going to be a nice low and slow cook, and we're probably looking at between 5 and 6 hours of cooking. So we're going to put this battery to the test, and also we'll see how long 5 pounds of pellets last. Anyway, I'll see you guys when this thing's up to temp, and we'll get those ribs on and start this cook. All right, so took about 20 minutes to bring this little cooker up to my target temperature of 250 degrees Fahrenheit. And one thing that I do want to point out is that what this does is it overshoots your target temperature pretty significantly at the beginning. and then it gradually comes down to your target. And I know from experience from a couple of very expensive pellet grills that that's more or less built into the design. You overshoot that target temperature, you're saturating all the steel and metal and everything in the pit, and then letting it come down just very gradually to your target, and it's going to hold that temp it's very stable that way. So that's what this does, and again, don't worry about it. So let's get that meat on. So I'm cooking a 4-bone rack of beef short ribs on this cook today. One thing I want to point out that I didn't mention earlier is this felt gasket here to help keep the smoke in and heat in. Plenty of room. And I season this at home. When I'm camping, I want to minimize my workload. So go ahead and get this closed. All right, now we're just going to let her cook. And again, I'm expecting, I don't know, 4.5 to 5 hours of cooking. I'll take a look at this to see if it needs any spritzing. I did bring a water bottle to spritz it with, but I have that water in the dish, so it's going to be interesting to see if I'll need to spritz it. Other than that, my wife and I both enjoy a little barbecue sauce kind of baked onto our beef ribs, so I will be hitting it with a barbecue sauce towards the end. It's not too sweet. It's kind of a hickory-ish, a little bit of sweet, but a lot of savory, so it's really good with beef. And I know a lot of you are going to be asking, where's your wife? She's just a little camera shy, that's it. One of these days I'll convince her to be on camera with me, but for now, we're just gonna have to kind of ease her into this. Anyway, see you in a bit. All right, we are into this cook now, 2 hours. Let's see what's going on. It smells really good. Wow. Wow. So you can see we're getting some good pull back here on the bone. I mean, look how puffed up this thing is. Definitely needs some more tenderizing going on. So ASmoke's saying with their steam technology that the cook time is dramatically reduced. So we'll see. I mean, it's coming along pretty darn good for 2 hours. I'm going to check the water. It looks very moist. I'm not going to spritz it. I'll check the little water reservoir, because the one thing is, again, I'm on the desert floor here and the table's slightly tilted back, so I wasn't able to really fill that reservoir up completely. As far as the, yeah, there's, I don't know if you can see it, still plenty of room left in this little container for the drippings. Now, as far as the temperatures, they've been running very stable. Now, ASmoke's claiming a differential plus or minus 5 degrees. From what I understand, they're speaking in Celsius. I've been literally running no more than 5 degrees swings up and down throughout this whole cook. It's been pretty much stable at 250 to 248. That's been the trend, so I'm really happy with that. This thing has a dual sensor PID controller, so there's a lot of really cool cooking technology in a little package here. So far, I'm impressed. We'll see how long this goes. Oh, as far as the pellet consumption, it barely has a dent in here. So a lot of pellet left to go. Also, the battery's looking pretty good as well. So anyway, I'll see you on the next, what are we calling it? The next time I check in on this piece of meat. Okay, we've been at this cook now for 4.5 hours. I just took a look at the ribs, did a probe. They're starting to probe pretty tender. They're getting there. They're very close. I'm going to go ahead and add that sauce now. After that, I'm guessing another 30 minutes, and I'll be pulling these ribs. Look at that. Beautiful. So something reminded me of another thing I wanted to mention as I was basting these ribs with the barbecue sauce, and that was cleanup, because, you know, some of the sauce was dripping on that heat diffuser, and there was also, you know, grease that was on there that had cooked on really tight. I want to let you know that I did not do a burn-in on this cooker because I wanted to bring it here all nice and shiny. So what I did before I came here a couple days before is I removed the heat diffuser assembly and both of those grates, and I ran those through my dishwasher. They all fit in my dishwasher. And then I just cleaned the inside of the lid with some soap and warm water, and it's being burned in now. But I just want to let you know that I had not burned this in. We're burning it in now, but I did clean everything before we did. And so getting back to where I was thinking, cleanup on this is really easy. Everything fits in the dishwasher. So that's what I'll be doing when I get home. Anyway, I'm gonna let this kind of the sauce set into this ribs here. The sun's getting really close to going down behind the mountain over here. I'll pull these off, rest them briefly, and then we'll give them a try. All right, I allowed those ribs to set in the pit with the barbecue sauce on it for an additional 30 minutes. So it brought that total cook time up to 5 hours. Let's see what they're looking like. Yum. Look at that. So I'll be pulling these from the pit, wrapping them, and I'll let them rest another 15 minutes or so. Like I said, I'm losing sun fast here. Then we'll slice them up, give you guys a try. All right, here they are, all rested and ready to eat. And we were also playing around after I pulled these off. Well, baked some biscuits. Probably could have let them get a little bit more color on the top, but they're going to be good. Right now, we have brownies in here. It's gonna be a good dinner tonight. It's gonna be dark very soon. All right, let's see how we did here. Nice. Got a ring. Let's see how we. Nice and jello-y. Ooh, nice. Nice smoke ring, juicy, juicy. See how we did. Really nice smoke ring. Tastes really good. I'm very, very happy with that color. This is good. Very, very happy with this cook. And I'm excited to see how these brownies turn out. I would show you, but by the time they're done, it's going to be dark here and we need to eat. But anyway, yeah. It consumed about half of the pellets, a little bit more than half, but that also includes the biscuits baking at a higher temperature, 300 something degrees. And right now the brownies have been on for about 5 minutes. Again, 340 or something like that. They're in here cooking. Battery is about half full. So, and that was 5 hours of cooking. So 10 hours I think is doable. Definitely, I would say 7 or 8 for sure. Yeah, I like it. Again, this is what we love to do, is come out here, to the various areas of the desert during the wintertime and enjoy the views and the wildlife and eat, and just enjoy our company of my wife and my friends. During the spring and summer, we like to go up to the Sierras, up to the mountains, and do the same with the addition of fishing. There's no fishing out here. So I can see this coming with me on my trips. This is really cool. Anyway, all the links down below if you want to check it out. I like it. I think it's cool too. It's got a good look to it. So anyway, thank you for stopping by. If you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that sub button and ring the notification bell if you like it. Thumb it up. I hope you did. And I will see you on the next video. Cheers.